Hello students, today we will discuss chapter 4, data file handling for class 12 computer science. Now we will run what is a file and what is data file. As we know that a file is itself a bunch of bytes stored on some storage device like hard disk, thumb drive, etc. We work every time we work on files. Say for example, picture file, video file, everywhere is file. Okay, but actually when it is stored in a disk or in a computer permanent storage device, then it stores like a bunch of bytes. Okay, stored on some storage device like hard disk, thumb drive. Bunch of bytes means bunch of characters, bunch of alphabets, bunch of numbers. These are things are known as files. Okay, and it is file. Okay, but the data file are the files that store data pertaining to a specific application for use. But what is data? Actually, earlier we discussed about file, but this time the data file. Data file contains data, stores data. Okay, and pertaining to a specific application means a particular application. For particular application, if some data is to be stored, then we have to create or we have to define a data file. Okay, the data file can be of two ways. Okay, data files can store data in two ways. There are two ways to store data in a data file. Say for example, suppose we are using Microsoft Word, then we are going when we save the file asks you some name, and then it will store that file on disk for permanent storage. For further use, we can open next time we can open that file and use for our different purposes. Okay, some files we can read by using some other software also. Say for example, through Notepad we can read some files, Notepad. Okay, but some files we cannot read on other type of software, another say for example Notepad. Okay, say for example Microsoft Word file cannot be read in a text editor or the Notepad. So there are two ways. Both ways are, first way is known as text file and then binary file. We will discuss both them one by one. Okay, see, first of all we will learn what is text file. A text file stores information in ASCII or Unicode characters. ASCII or Unicode characters. What is this? ASCII code full form is American Standard Code for Information Interchange, and Unicode full form is Universal Coding System. Okay, these two coding systems are used to represent text. Okay, and these codes are used almost in every computer. And this is the one which is used with text editor. Text editor means such as Notepad. Okay, in when we create some file in Notepad and we save the file, then that file becomes ASCII file or the text file. Okay, ASCII file or the text file, and this file can be read throughout any of the application which can read a text file. Okay, or ASCII file. With other software we can use. In text files, each line of text is terminated or delimited with a special character known as EOL, end of line character. Okay, what happens in ASCII file, okay, or in a text file, there is what is there? There is each line is terminated with a special character known as EOL, end of line character. Okay, each line, whenever we type and press enter key to go to next line, okay, the enter key is converted to EOL, end of line character. Okay, In Python, by default, the EOL character is new line character. What is in Python? That is new line character, and it can be represented by \n. It works just like enter key. Just we have pressed enter key. This symbol just work like we have pressed enter key. Okay. Or sometimes it may have carriage return. Okay, can be represented by \r or with the combination of both \r and \n. Okay. What is EOL character? It is \n, \r or \n. Why we are studying here EOL? Because in text file each line is terminated with this character. This is known as EOL character. Okay. Now come to binary files. What is this binary file? A binary file is just a file that contains information in the same format in which the information is held in memory. Okay, when we store some information in memory, okay, though in memory some information takes less memory. So which memory we are asking? There are so many types of memory available in computer. Here hard disk memory is also there, pen drive is also a memory, CD is also a memory, RAM, computer RAM is also a memory. But we are talking here about RAM memory. Which type of memory? RAM memory. RAM memory is known as the internal memory. Okay, it is known as the internal memory or the active memory. Okay, this is the active memory. And every time this memory is active, and whatever we do, everything is loaded in that memory. Okay, we are asking about this RAM memory. Suppose we are writing some Python programs. Okay, then when we execute the program, there are some variables we define. Say for a equals to 10, b equals to 30, like this. Then a or b, these required memory, where it requires memory, or occupied memory, where it occupies the memory. It occupies memory in the RAM memory. Okay, and here we are talking about the RAM memory. So okay, and whatever the value is stored in that memory, okay, and how much memory it occupies in that memory, in the same way binary files stores the data. In the same way the binary files store the data. Okay, the content that is returned is stored in raw, no translation or no specific encoding is. What happened in a RAM memory? Data are stored in a raw format. Okay, there is no special transaction, no special encoding system is there, no ASCII coding or Unicode coding is there. Directly the data is stored in the memory. Okay, in binary file there is no delimiter for a line, as in the case of text file there is EOL character when we go at the end of each line. Okay, but here in binary file there is no EOL character. These are known as raw data. Okay, and raw data requires less memory. Okay, and no translation occur in binary files. So if we are storing the memory data in binary files, okay, then there is no conversion required, and then what happens? It becomes the files. As a result, binary files are faster and easier for a program to read and write than our text files. So for a program, for a Python program or any program, okay, these files are easier to load, okay, easier to read or easier to write. That's why it becomes faster. Our program becomes faster if we use binary files. Binary files are considered the best way to store program information. That's why you can see most of the software, say for example Word, Excel, PowerPoint, any type of software, mostly they use binary files to store their information because they are easier to store, they are faster. That's why it is used. Understood? Binary file is for a binary file. What is the difference between text file? Okay, text again we are here just remind you that text file stores data in some format, that is ASCII format or Unicode format, and there is some translation is required during saving and during then reloading into the memory. But in binary file there is no need of any specific coding or specific translation. These are raw data, and it makes file handling easier and faster. Okay. Now, first we will learn how to work with text files. One benefit is there with text file, that text files can be read by any work, any text editor software, Notepad, okay, WordPad, even Microsoft Word. We can read any type of softwares can read this text file. This is the benefit of text file. Okay, that's why we are learning here text files. Data file handling with text files. File handling in Python enables us to perform several operations such as create, update, read, and delete the files stored on the file system through our Python program. Okay, file handling in Python enables us to perform several operations. What are those operations? We can create file, update the file, read the file, even we can delete some files or some data in the file stored on the file system. How we can do this? We are doing these here using the Python programs. Okay, we have done these things very so many times, but by using the Windows software or any other operating system software which provides these facilities, but here we are doing here with the help of Python programs. Okay. In Python, file handling consists of following three essential steps. Okay, to do any of the file operation, we have to do these three steps. We have to do any type of file handling, file operation with the help of these three steps. First step is we have to open the file. Okay, then second one is we have to process the file. We can create the file, update the file, read, delete, write, anything we have to do. In the second step, we have to do these things. And lastly, after completion of the process of the file, we have to close the file. Here is the three process. First, open the file, process the data, and then close the file. These three steps we have to follow. Opening and closing file. First, we will learn how we can open the file, and then we will learn how we can close the file. In order to work with a file from within Python program, we need to open it in a specific mode. What we need to do any of the operation, first we have to open the file and in a specific mode as per the file manipulation task we want to perform. Okay, some modes there are so many modes are there. Okay, we have to open that file in a particular mode, in a specific mode, as per the requirement, our requirement. Okay, the file manipulation, what we have to do on that file, according to that need, we have to open the file in that mode, in that specific mode. Okay, the most basic file manipulation task. Okay, what task we can do? We can read data from the files, write data, something we can modify, we can write, we can create the file. While creating, we have to write some data in the in the file, then appending data to the file, modifying data in the file, then deleting. Finally, we can delete data some in the file or in the okay. Now Python provides built-in functions to perform each of these tasks. Okay, now it is again Python is helping here that it provides so many built-in functions to perform all of these tasks. But before we can perform any of these tasks on the file, we need to first open the file. Don't forget to open the file to do any of these tasks. First, you have to open the file. And how we can do this? See, opening files. Before reading or writing on a file, first it must be opened. Okay, first it must be opened. To open a file in Python, the built-in function here, it is Python is making easier here that it gives you the function open function. Okay, open function can be used. This function creates a file on disk and return file object, also called file handling. Okay, first what we have to do, we have to use this function, and what it does, this function, it creates the file on disk. means in permanent storage device it creates the file and it returns the file object. It doesn't return the file name, but it returns the file object. Okay, say for example, just like a variable, a equals to 10, b equals to 30, like this, a b, we can do operation on this a and b variables. Similarly, there is file object also to work with file. Okay, it returns, this append function returns file object. And file object is also called file handling. Okay, both are similar words, file object and file handling for file operation. Now see the syntax, how we can append the file. This append function is used like this. First, we have to use assignment operator. This equal to operator is known as assignment operator, and before the, in the left side of the assignment operator, we have to give file object. Okay, and what is file object? File object is just an identifier, means any name you can give. Okay, you can give any name, and that name must follow the identifier naming rules. And what are those rules? You already know. Okay, and then at the right hand side of the equal to operator, assignment operator, what is given here? Append function is given here, and then file name within quotation, single quotation, double quotation mark, we have to give file name. Okay. See, then there is other method also. Okay, just same syntax is there, then only mode we have added here in the second method, mode. Okay, if we in the first syntax we have skipped the mode, we have not given the mode. By default, the Python will open that file in read mode, that we are going to read the file. In that mode, the file will be opened if we are not giving any mode. And to open the file in some other modes, we will see later what are the modes available in the Python language, how we can how many modes we can open the file, we will see later. Okay, then in for opening the file in other mode, we have to mention here, we have to give some mode here, and we will learn later. Now see, what are those things? File object, we already know. A file object is a reference to a file on disk. Okay, the file which is created on the disk, it gives some reference, it creates some link from that disk file, and that link is known as file object. Okay, and file object, just it is a name, it is an identifier. Okay, no, file name, it is the name of the file to be created. Whatever file we want, we can give name. Okay, and each and every file name we can give. The file name can be given there, just like this, we are creating Microsoft Word file, Excel file. Okay, whatever we say, when we save the file, the file name we are giving, same here we can use. Okay, and mode, what is mode? It determines the kind of operation to be performed. Okay, what kind of operation we are going to perform with the file, the mode will determine those things. If we are not giving the mode while opening the file, then the file will be opened in read only mode. Okay, now here file object, we are just discussing here again that what is a file object, because it is the important part of the file handling during in the Python program. A file object, also called file handling, is very important and useful tools, as through a file object there is only one link available in the Python program, that is file object. With the file, there is only one link, that is file object. So it is very much important everywhere, everything. Whenever we want to do something with the file, then we have to use this file object in our program. We will see later. A Python program can work with file stored on hardware. A Python program can work with file stored on hardware. Okay, hardware means the disk. Then this is linked. Okay, all the functions that we can perform on a data file are performed through these file objects. A file object is a stream of bytes where the data can be read either byte by byte or line by line or collectively. Now, what is a file object? If you want to define it, then it is a stream of bytes. A stream of bytes means flow of bytes. Flow of bytes, okay? Flow of characters, flow of symbols, flow of data, okay, like this, where the data can be read either byte by byte or line by line collectively. A file object is a reference to a file on disk. It opens and makes it available for a number of different tasks. When we open the file, then this file object is available for doing number of different tasks. Its naming can be done using the identifier naming rules. And what are those rules? We already know. Okay, for example, here we are opening some file. We are giving you some example how we can open. Suppose we want to open a file data.txt file. Okay, txt means text file. Text file, for text file we have to give txt, data.txt file. Then we have to give the syntax like this, the command like this. First we have to give our file object, that is my file equals to open, and within single quotation mark data.txt is given. Okay, or we can give like this, my file equals to open data.txt comma. Both statement here are same, because both statement open the file in read mode, because R means read mode. Okay, if you are not giving, then same function will be available for the function. Now see the various modes available for file opening. So many modes are there, but here while seeing this, don't confuse. Okay, don't bother, because these will become clear to you one by one. Okay, just see here, R means read mode, RB means it will open the file in read mode, same as R, but with binary file mode. If we, okay, there are two types of file, or we can open a file in two ways. First way is known as text file and binary file. If we want to open binary file, then B we have to add here, same here, R plus plus. If we are adding plus symbol, then the file will be open a reading plus writing, both purpose. And then RB plus, it is same as R plus but with file binary file, same. W4 means writing mode only. Okay, WB means binary file, and W plus means writing and reading both. Okay, then WB plus means writing and reading with binary files. A is here A append mode, and then AB append mode with binary file. A plus mode means append mode with and a reading mode. Okay, appending and reading both. AB plus means appending and reading then in binary file mode. Now for now we have to remember only these three modes, this R mode, then W mode and A mode. Okay, just concentrate on these three. R mode, what it does, it opens the file in reading mode, and this is the default mode. And W mode, writing mode only. Writing mode means to create a file, then we have to use writing mode. If already file is existing, okay, file is already made, already created, then we have to open the file for reading purpose, then R mode is needed. Okay, if file is not existing and you want to create a new file, then we have to use this W mode. Okay, R mode, then W mode. Okay, now A mode, when we want to add or modify or some changes, then append mode will be uses. File pointer moves at, in append mode, file pointer moves at end and creates new file if not exist. Okay, append mode, if we are giving append mode, then it will create a new file if the file does not exist. The file name which are giving does not exist, then it will create the new file. And also what it does, it moves the file pointer at the end, means the existing data will be retained and then we can add new data in the file. That's why it moves at the end. Okay, and for other file modes, the file pointer will be available at the beginning of the file. Okay, now closing file. How to close a file? Once we are done working with the file, we should close the file. Closing a file releases valuable system resources, because when we open a file, okay, it occupies so many system resources, some memory it requires, some file in on disk is opened, okay, so many resources is needed. That's why closing is necessary. Okay, when we are done with the working with the file, then we have to close this file. In case we forget to close the file, suppose it may happen that we are writing the program, we are working with the file and forget to close the file. Okay, to close a file we have to write a special type of command, that is the file object, then dot, then close. Okay, we have to give, for example, my file dot close. If you want to close the file, my file, then we have to write like this. Okay, these we have to do. But if we forget this writing this statement, closing, then it Python will automatically close the file. There is no need to bother that we have not written the closing statement in our program. Then need not to bother, because the file, when we call Python automatically close the file when program ends or file object is no longer referenced in the program. Okay, automatically closes the file if we forget. So there is no need to worry about this statement. Reading and writing files. First we learn how to open the file, what is the command, what is the function, and then we have learned how to close the file. Now what here we will learn processing of the file, means reading some data, writing some data in the file, like this. Okay, Python provides various functions for reading and writing the open files. See, reading from files. Python provides mainly three types of read functions to read from a file, data file. There are only three read functions. There are only three read functions. What are those? For the read function is there, then read line is there, and read lines is there. LINS. Additional is S here. Okay, and some differences is there. The read one, the first one, it can read given n number of bytes. If n is not specified, reads entire file. Okay, this is the syntax. We have to give file object, then dot, then read, and n. We can give n means number of bytes, how many bytes we have to read. Number of bytes means how many characters we want to read from the file. Then we can mention here the number, 30 character or one line, or like this we can give here. And if we are not giving the value n, then it will read entire file. The whole file will be read if nothing is given here as the specified value. Okay, now read line function, the second one function, it can also read given n number of bytes. If n is not specified, read a single line. Okay, see, if n is given here, then only that much data or character will be read from the file, and if we skip this, we will not give this value n, then it will read only one line, single line, okay, at a time, only one line at a time. Now see, read lines function, it can read all the lines of the file and returns them as a list. Okay, list data type it will return. File object dot read lines, and there is no need to give any the value n, because it is made to read all the lines, all the data from that file. Okay, now again remember here that before we can read from a file, the file must be opened and linked via file object. Means before using this any of the function, we have to write the open function. Okay, now practical implementation. See here, here is the Python program, and here is the file on the external device. If we want to save some file, then save data from to file, then we have to use write function. And if we want to read from data file to our program, then read function is needed. Okay, reading a text file with using various built-in reading functions. See, first we will use read function. Okay, read function. See the program, so many programs are there. First program here, see what is given here. File open poem.txt. One poem.txt file is already created in the file, okay, using notepad. See here, this is the file poem.txt. okay, and this 4 lines are given here, It is a poem. Okay, and we are familiar with this poem. See, to read the lines from that file, what commands we have written here in the program. First, we have written here to open the file like this in read mode. Then str1 file.read 30 means 30 character it will read. First time it will read 30 character, then print statement is here. Then second time it reads 50 characters, and then it is displaying, and then we have closed the file here. See the output, 30 characters up to HOW. W is not here, H, because if we count here all the letters here including the spaces, then it will be 30 letters, and from here W, okay, up to the high it will come up to 50 letters. You can count if you want. Now second one program is here, that this program read entire file poem.txt. How it is doing here, we are not giving any value here. See, no value is given here, poem.txtr, and then print. We have read the entire file at a time in one step. Okay, then 4 statement is required only, and the output is here. All the statement, all the lines is displayed here.